And welcome to lecture number 7. We're going to talk about setting up sheets. How do we go ahead and, up to now we've been really talking about modeling everything in 3D. As you can see, here's a 3D view of this. And everything's been really about modeling and getting everything precisely done and everything else. And we haven't gone so much into how we're going to package this at the end. Because really the final product at the end of it all is you're going to present this in paper format, and we need to print this out just like we would in CAD, and we need to print it out in a title block, which is basically a formal sheet setup where you have the project information and the company information and so on and so forth. Well, we need to go ahead and set that up. We're going to go through, and if you notice in your different views here, there's a view here called sheets. Okay, right now if you double click, nothing happens. What we need to do is create actually a new sheet. So we're going to right mouse click and say new sheet. Okay, now template, there's a REVIT template that already comes in place. It's a 30 by 42 horizontal. 30 by 42 is pretty much industry standard. Alongside with like 18 by 24 and so on and so forth. So that's a pretty good size to go with. You hit OK, and it takes you to a sheet here. This is basically like your paper space in AutoCAD, or for those of you that are the old school AutoCAD users, or you can say your layout tabs in AutoCAD for the newer AutoCAD users. So here's where you basically can see the layout of the sheet, and from there you can go ahead and bring in all the information, start pretty much locating it correctly. This is a standard, let's call it as a family or a block, if you will. If you notice, owner, project name, the sheet number. You can change a lot of this by just basically under project name, we'll call it MDC REVIT class, and whatever you want to name it under that project, and we'll just say lecture number 7. The sheet number, you can change it to whatever you want. A107. It's just double clicking the fields, how we've been doing for other items. You can change a lot of these parameters as well. So a lot of these things are interchangeable. If you want to get into more in depth on customizing your title block, I would suggest to read into your books a little bit more, and also get into the lecture on families and customizing families. But just to kind of go over a little bit the surface, if you want to actually customize some of these items and go a little bit more in depth, for example, change this Autodesk Revit and put in your own logo or maybe a snapshot of your project, you can actually select the item. And when you select it, you'll notice there's a button that says Edit Family. Once again, all I did was I just click on anywhere here where it highlights everything. I say Edit Family. Okay. Do you want to open for editing? You say yes. Okay. And just, if you get that, just go ahead and hit continue. It's not a big deal. All right. Well, here at the Edit Family, you can actually go into each and every single one of these pieces. For consultant, for example, you can fill in all the different engineers. If you want to put in your own web address for this. This is an image. Here you can actually delete it and bring in an image. You can go Insert, Image here. So under Insert, Image. And from there you can basically go ahead and put whatever image you want. So all this data here you can basically do. Some of the stuff you can change actually already in the sheet how we talked about. But pretty much the global stuff, that's going to show up at every single sheet, you can ultimately change it here. Once you're done and you want to upload it back, or obviously save the changes and reflect it in your project, you can go Load into Project right here. Okay. So you go Load into Project. And it's going to ask you want to overwrite the existing version? Yeah, I want to overwrite it. That's fine. Hit OK. And as you can see, it updated it. Not bad. Now, how do you actually get some of your drawings into your sheet? Well, it's pretty easy actually. It's probably too easy. If you go to your floor plan here, don't click on anything. I'm still under my sheet, which by the way, it shows up now here. All I did was I hit the little plus sign here under your sheets, and here's A107 Lecture 1. So whatever you called it here, the sheet number and this identification here, it'll basically pop out here. And if I want to, at this stage, I want to go ahead and bring in my floor plan, all I do is, while you have this view active, I just drag, click, hold down, and drag and drop. And click again to where you want to have it selected. That's it. It already comes in with the label. You can, again, double click here. You know, some of these items here, that's level 1. So it'll reflect whatever you have here. So if I call this, you know, floor 1, this will basically rename to floor 1. And obviously it knows that floor 1 was drawn at 1/8 scale, so it's going to report it that way. Not a bad deal. These little things, don't worry about it. They really won't come out. But if you notice it's too small, I want the floor plan to be bigger. So a couple of ways you can do it. If you remember in AutoCAD, where from Paperspace, where you can actually go inside the viewport, well, I can make that adjustment. If I click on the object where it highlights it, and I right mouse click, and I say activate view. Okay, back up. If I click to select the object, right mouse click, and I say activate view. Okay, everything turns gray except the plan. Now this is basically like viewing the plan from level 1, but from Paperspace, if you will. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change my scale. Let's say I want it bigger. I want to. Does that work? I don't know. It could, I guess. We could try to make it work. Not a bad deal. So I right mouse click over the plan, and I go deactivate view. And what that does is it closes Paperspace. Now I can click and drag so I can put the plan correctly where it needs to go. And I just click outside, you know, or hit escape a couple times. And I want to take this guy, click, and drag over. So the label is obviously within the area there. That's in a nutshell. That's basically what you would do. If I want to go ahead and create another sheet, what I do is right click where it says sheets, new sheet, same thing. That's fine. Hit OK. And it creates a new sheet. As you can see, it creates the same sheet that we had before. So I can go ahead and let's say I want to bring in, I don't know, 3D view. You can bring in 3D view, click, drag, drop. And same thing, I can select, right click, activate, so it opens it up, and I can change my scale. Maybe I want the scale 1/4 inch. And then obviously right click in a blank area here, deactivate. So now I can click and drag. So now my 3D view, and as you can see it says 3D view, I can change this by just saying over 3D, I can say rename, and I can call it 3D view lecture number 7. Okay, and notice it changed it here and it changed it here in the title. Not bad at all. Okay, you obviously have to change every sheet number as shown here. So this is 108. You know, obviously every sheet has to be the same. Every sheet number has to be unique, but you have to keep them all organized. You know, MDC REVIT class, and then you want to show whatever. All right, so this will be 3D view. And that's about it. That's sheets in a nutshell. I hope that helped, and I hope you enjoyed the lecture. You know, you can go back and forth between sheets, and that's about it. So the secret to it is just basically at the sheet that you want, you right click, new sheet, hit OK. Here we are again, and let's say if I want an elevation, just click, drag, drop. There's one elevation, click, drag, drop. Here's another elevation, click, drag, drop. Another elevation, and last but not least, click, drag, and drop. Last elevation. Okay, so you can have multiple viewports in a single sheet as seen, and that's about it. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you very much.